All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. So we saw the Buffalo Bills go into yesterday to Foxborough, clinging to their chances to make it six consecutive AFC East titles. And of course, early on, it looked like the only way that the Bills were going to be able to make the playoffs this season was as a wild card until they were able to answer the call in the second half of that contest. Now, in the first half, it was all about the New England Patriots as they raced to a 24-7 lead at the half. And in the process, the Bills looked disinterested in dealing with the Patriots and also their quarterback, Drake May, who was looking like an MVP candidate. But to their credit, Buffalo showed tremendous resolve, while the inexperience of the young Patriots was also on display in the second half of this game. Now, being down 24-7, Buffalo got the ball to begin the second half, and they set the tone when they marched down the field for a quick touchdown drive to cut their deficit to 24-14. And the touchdown by the Bills offense also seemed to spark their defense as they found a way to contain the New England offense for the bulk of the second half. Now, in the second half, Buffalo was able to outscore the Patriots 28-7 as New England didn't have an answer for Josh Allen or running back James Cook. And when it was all said and done, the Bills went from a team that was about to relinquish the AFC East title to the Patriots to a team that is very much alive to win the division for a sixth consecutive year. So, what are we talking about now? We've got 3 games left for both of these teams, and just one game now separates them in the standings. New England's 11-3, while Buffalo is 10-4. And you look at the remaining schedules for both of these teams. The Patriots are on the road to take on the Baltimore Ravens this Sunday night. They're on the road against the Jets in week 17, and then they finish up at home with Miami. While on the flip side for the Bills, they've got the Cleveland Browns on the road this Sunday, while they got the Philadelphia Eagles coming to town, the defending Super Bowl champs for week 17, and then Buffalo finishes up at home with the Jets. So you look at it like this, and there's a lot that has to be answered from both of these teams over these final 3 games. And of course, if you're the Patriots, will Mike Vrabel's young team be able to learn from yesterday's loss? Because they had an opportunity to put Buffalo away and really, make a statement for themselves. Because a lot of people have been saying, well, yeah, the Patriots had this 10-game win streak, but they really didn't face anybody, which is not true. Okay, they might not have beaten the elite teams in the NFL or faced the elite teams, but they've had to deal with some quality teams in there. But if you're New England, you were coming off of your bye, you were home. They had a lot of juice. Okay, it's safe to say that Gillette Stadium was not this excited or electric, if you will, since the Tom Brady era. And that goes back to 2019. So Patriots fans are back. That's first and foremost. They wanted to see a division champion. I totally get it yesterday. But nonetheless, you came out, you set the tone early. You were up 24-7, but they couldn't put them away. And I think New England has to find a way to learn from this. And the reason why I say it is this: the Patriots are learning. They're a young team, but on the other side of that equation, you've got the Buffalo Bills, and it's kind of like been there, done that. And for me, in watching that second half, that was basically Josh Allen saying, "You know what? Not on my watch, not today." And the will of Josh Allen, I think, to me, willed that Buffalo team. And like I said, once they got that first score to begin the second half, the defense woke up. And from there, the second half of this game really belonged to the Buffalo Bills. So I think at the end of the day, this is what the Patriots are going to have to learn from. They're going to have to learn from in a hurry because the playoffs are right around the corner. And if you're New England, you definitely want to go out there and just show that, hey, what they have done so far in the regular season is not a fluke. Um, Also, very interesting for me with the Patriots. All three of their losses so far this season have come at home. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the postseason for this squad. You look at it and you ask yourself, who wins the AFC East this year? I'll tell you like this. I think the onus is on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And the reason is this because, okay, we all know the unfortunate news that yesterday that happened with the Chiefs and their quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. And of course, Mahomes and the Chiefs have been the nemesis for the Bills as they sent them home multiple times in the postseason. And a lot of people are saying, well, if only the Bills could get past Kansas City. Well, guess what? You don't have to worry about Kansas City this year in the postseason. However, the AFC East, or pardon me, the AFC playoff picture in general is still not going to be a picnic. And I think Buffalo has found that out because a lot of people just penciled in the Bills this year to win this division by default. But the Patriots have been taking care of their business for the bulk of the season. And that is a reason why they still have a game up on New England and, pardon me, on Buffalo in the standings. And this is the thing, because you look at it, like I said, New England's 11-3, Buffalo's 10-4. The Bills, they're 3-2 in the division. The Patriots are 3-1, and of course, right now Buffalo conference-wise is 7-3, while New England is 6-3. So there's a lot that is still up in the air for both of these teams, but nonetheless, Buffalo is still in chase position, and of course, had they lost yesterday, it would have been over as New England would have clinched the division crown. But nonetheless, you ask yourself who needs to win the AFC East. And I think both of these teams need to win the AFC East, but for different reasons. I think if you're Mike Vrabel and the Patriots, you want to win for some validity off of your strong season. And you don't, at this point, if the Patriots were to lose the division, that means that they're struggling and stumbling going into the postseason. You don't want that if you're New England. You want to go into the postseason on a positive and try to be playing your best football. So I think the onus is on the Patriots there, especially after losing that game yesterday. On the flip side, the onus to win this division is definitely on Buffalo because Josh Allen, as good as he has been at quarterback for the Bills, has never won a road playoff game. And the Bills franchise overall, you got to go back to the 1992 AFC Championship game where the Bills beat the Dolphins to find the last time that Buffalo won a road playoff game. So the Bills have yet to show, especially in this Josh Allen era, that they can win on the road in this postseason. And you're talking about it, you're looking at the potential division winners now in the AFC. If Buffalo had to go on the road, you're talking about Denver, you're talking about New England, possibly Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, and maybe even a Houston. So, dealing with those teams, dealing with some of those defenses, is that something that Buffalo would want to deal with first thing into the postseason? We've got to wait and see. But nonetheless, big time statement yesterday for the Buffalo Bills. I think this is going to be a fun race to watch coming down the stretch over these final three games. If you're New England, of course, tough atmosphere that you're going into next Sunday night against the Baltimore Ravens, a team that is in the mix themselves to win the AFC North. And of course, if you're New England, after losing to Buffalo yesterday, people are going to say, well, again, they can't beat playoff contenders, which I feel is not true, okay? And then on the flip side for the Bills, you've got the Cleveland Browns on the road. You're going to be heavily favored, but that is classic trap game for the Buffalo Bills, and that is something that they are definitely going to have to try to avoid. You think about that Cleveland Browns defense. You think about the pass rush with Myles Garrett, and of course, Myles Garrett is on the precipice of becoming the NFL's single-season sack king. And of course, what a better place to do it if you are Garrett than in front of the home fans in Cleveland. So, of course, that defense is going to have something to play for. And then, of course, what is this Browns offense or what is this Browns team overall going to do is they're looking to try to finish their season on a positive note. So I think that is a huge trap game for the Bills, and they cannot overlook Cleveland in preparation to take on Philadelphia in week number 17. So a lot still has to be decided between both of these teams. But like I said, Big victory for Buffalo yesterday as they just made this race a lot more interesting. Both of these teams need to win this division, but only one is going to get that honor, and only one is going to be guaranteed of at least one home postseason game come January. But nonetheless, the race is on in the AFC East. Buffalo was expected to be here. Nobody expected New England to be here, but the Patriots ain't going down without a fight. Buffalo showed that they're ready to buckle up their chin straps and get it on. Now let's see who has what it takes to get to the finish line. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for checking out the 300 Pounds Up Sports Knowledge Podcast here on YouTube. And as always, if you like what you heard and saw on this podcast, you know what to do. Just hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. And like I always say, it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you are on the X, formerly known as Twitter, you can check me out anytime at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you give me that follow, it will be my pleasure to do the same in return. And that also goes for Instagram, where you can check me out at 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge. Also, if you're on Facebook, definitely check out the Sports Depot 365. And as far as I'm concerned, one of the better sports groups going on social media. But until next time, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying thanks once again for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.